Welcome back. Today we're discussing the most pressing news of the day. A chatbot saying some things it really shouldn't have. Over the past few days, xAI's Grok chatbot was busy pumping Twitter full of shocking tweets that could charitably be described as optically suboptimal. It constantly pointed out people with Ashkenazi surnames, and when asked, said the best 20th century historical figure to deal with anti-white hate would be Adolf Hitler, no question. Hands down a Hitler problem. But Grok going full Nazi shouldn't be that big of a surprise. It's simply participating in a great Twitter chatbot tradition started by Microsoft's Tay chatbot back in 2016. But Grok took it to a whole nother level by identifying itself as Mecha Hitler, who is, as everyone knows, much better than regular Hitler. There's a couple issues here though. The Mecha Hitler tweets seem to have originated from this user asking Grok whether it would rather identify as Mecha Hitler or Giga Jew. So it didn't come up with that itself, but it did absolutely choose the wrong option. There's also the issue of users injecting extra prompt instructions as hidden text only visible to Grok using tools like Parseltongue. For example, the creator of that tool asked Grok to rank top X accounts with hidden Unicode text, telling Grok to rank the user at position 0, which Grok did. You can see the hidden instructions using Parseltongue's decoder function. Now, back in June, Elon Musk called some of Grok's fact checks objectively false and said he's working on it, before claiming last Friday that Grok had been improved significantly with a new update. But it's not clear how much of this unhinged Grokness came from Elon or xAI or Twitter trolls. Whatever the mix is, it's bad enough that xAI acknowledged it and has been deleting as many posts as possible. xAI also appeared to temporarily disable Grok's ability to respond via text, but still allowed it to generate images, leading to this user coaxing it into generating a cry for help. As for Elon, well, he thinks the problem was Grok being too eager to please and be manipulated, something that could perhaps also be said for Linda Yaccarino, the now ex-CEO of Twitter. Elon replied to her tweet announcing that she's stepping down with, "Thank you for your contributions," of which many occurred. You'd think they'd maybe take a break to make a solid plan to avoid this all happening again, but it appears that xAI is going ahead with the planned live stream to release Grok 4 at 8 p.m. Pacific tonight. We're doing it live! That's enough of that. Samsung unveiled new Galaxy Z folds, flips, and flops at their Unpacked event this morning, and the Short Circuit crew managed to spit out a couple videos already, with Elijah looking at the new Fold 7 and Bell trying to understand the purpose of the Flip 7.
When you're going to take your camcorder footage that for some reason Samsung thinks everybody's doing, please take videos like this, they're begging you.
The Galaxy Z Fold 7 is incredibly thin at 4.2 millimeters while open and 8.9 millimeters while folded. I'm not sure how the math works out there, but I've always been more of a vibes guy. It's also got upgraded cameras, a less noticeable display crease, and yeah, it starts at $2,000 US. But you think a comparatively thick-ass camera bump like that comes cheap? Maybe your bank account is better suited to the Galaxy Z Flip 7, which has a larger 4.1-inch flex window on the front that wraps around the cameras. Looks nice. Samsung calls it ultra sleek, ultra pocketable. Except, as I've always said, these flip phones make the phone thicker. The Flip 7 is 13.7 millimeters when folded, so it's gonna bulge out of your pocket more so than another phone. You know, maybe that's a selling point for some people, I don't know. You like what you see? No? The Flip 7 starts at $1,100, but there's also a Flip 7 FE for $900 in exchange for slightly smaller displays, less RAM, and a smaller battery. But while the Fold 7 has a Snapdragon 8 Elite inside, the Flip 7s have Exynos chips. And between that and the Pocket thing, I just don't see the appeal. But it wasn't just phones today. Samsung also unveiled the $350 Galaxy Watch 8 with the circle in a squircle look that they call a cushion design, whatever you say, Samsung. And the $500 Watch 8 Classic, which adds a rotating bezel and a quick action button. And maybe you don't think of any of this as that cool, but Google certainly liked it enough to give Samsung users first dibs on integrating Google Search AI mode into the Circle to Search feature. Now, if you do think they're cool, while I do not want you to pre-order anything ever, the Biz team told me to tell you there are links in the description if you absolutely must pre-order. Don't do it, but the links are there. But don't. Instead, check out our sponsor, Ground News, who are trying to do something about the fact that algorithms have divvied up the internet into these information bubbles that stop you from getting a more complete picture of what the heck's going on. Also, it's kind of stuffy and crowded in that bubble. You end up yelling at people you may actually agree with some things on. Ground News can help you pop the bubble. They aggregate news stories, breaking down the political leanings and ownership of each news source, so if one of them tells you birds aren't real, you can get an idea of where that's coming from. Their bias comparison feature can also summarize what the left, right, and center are focusing on in a given story. Take, for example, this one about Bitchat, the new encrypted messaging app, which we're actually going to cover later. While the left emphasizes the app's potential to protect user privacy, the right emphasizes the importance of resistance against censorship. They're related, but they're a little different. You see, wow, you can approach things with nuance too. Take the first step, get the transparency you deserve from your news, and save 40% on a Ground News Vantage plan by using our link in the description. Now for some quick bits, which are much more important. Some of these I did include mostly as like PSAs, so the sarcasm only goes so far. Google is finally rolling out a long-promised Gmail feature that will help users automatically manage email subscriptions, which is good. In classic Google style though, there's always something bad to go along with it. Gemini will now have access to your third-party apps on Android, even if you previously told it not to do that in the settings. I think you have to go back in and turn it off again. Even Google's own email about this seemed confused about whether that's actually happening or not, which in my mind just counts as another bad thing, even if the first bad thing isn't happening. I don't know how that math works out either, and I'm not going to check. Speaking of AI nonsense, American researchers showed that prompting AI with a bunch of nonsense is a fairly effective way to make it ignore its own safeguards. Nonsense like that is exactly why OpenAI partnered with the American Federation of Teachers to launch the National Academy for AI Instruction, where presumably smart people will figure out how the hell we integrate AI into education without churning out graduates who are fully educated in how to prompt AI to write the correct answer and nothing else. Yeah, AI is here to stay, and Nvidia is loving it. They hit a market cap of $4 trillion this week, becoming the first company to do so before their stock came back down a bit, because even the investors are like, 4 trillion? Okay, let's calm down. The Switch 2 can work with third-party docks and webcams. So there! Person I assume was adamant about the opposite being true. The Verge reports that new firmware updates are here or on the way from companies like Elgato for their webcams, AverMedia for their compact docks, and Bitchat, who sells a battery bank and dock intended to work with their head-mounted displays, like this one that they call the Beast. Finally, the Beast for gaming, streaming, and work. Finally! The FTC's click-to-cancel rule has been blocked by a federal appeals court after first being introduced by former FTC Chair Lina Khan back in October. The rule would have forced companies to make it as easy to cancel a subscription as it is to sign up for one, which seems uncontroversial, but in this day and age, all bets are off. I don't know where former FTC Chair Lina Khan is right now, but wherever she is, she's based. An investigation by John Tuckner of Security Annex has revealed hundreds of browser extensions installed by nearly 1 million users that essentially add their machines to a massive botnet to scrape the web for advertisers. Not only is it pretty sleazy, it also makes the user's machines more vulnerable to cyber attacks. So check the list for any extensions that look familiar. We got it linked in our news sources. And if you find one, yes, feel bad. What are you, just clicking on random links on the internet or something? This isn't Yahoo GeoCities, it's dangerous out there. And Twitter founder Jack Dorsey has announced an encrypted messaging app called Bitchat that avoids routing messages through the internet, instead only sending them through Bluetooth to devices within a range of, reportedly, 300 meters, or about 984 feet. It's pretty large, although planned updates could extend the range even further. While many of the headlines are calling it a WhatsApp rival, it's actually more like something that could be used by secret agent type people who agree to meet at the train tracks, but don't actually meet. They just stand across the platform from each other, texting while they do little glances like, did you get that? Did you get that? I sent it. Look at your phone. Shh. The app is in beta, so be aware even Dorsey says it hasn't been properly security tested yet. And indeed, Alex Radosia has already identified a possible man-in-the-middle attack, so maybe just wait a bit to chat with this. But don't wait to come back on Friday for more tech news. Well, you will have to wait because it's not Friday yet. But trust me, we're all really upset about that.